So originally, when I've done a video or review on this is the RedThunder K20, and it's a 75% the size of a standard keyboard or full size keyboard. And in that video, I said I was going to get another one. One for me, one for my grandchild, because he's got into gaming on the PC, which is a good thing as far as I'm concerned anyway. But I've changed my mind, and the reason for that is I need a full-size keyboard because I'm so used to pressing the numbers on the number pad on the right hand side. I find it difficult to find the numbers up here. I'm spending more time looking for the numbers than actually typing in the numbers, if that makes sense. And sometimes I'm hitting the F keys instead of the number keys. Actually, I do that quite a few times. Yes, I know I will get used to it and I will get better. But for me, I want the same keyboard, but the bigger size one. So that is why I bought this little baby, the K20. Now, something to bear in mind, I did find this a little bit strange, is I looked this up on the American Amazon as well, and they do it in white. But in the UK one, it was only shown in black. And in the American one, it was only shown in white. Well, I thought, well, that's a bit strange. Why don't you do both colours in both countries? Or whatever country you're doing it for. But that's how it is. So hopefully this is as good as the one I'm currently using at the moment. I've still got my full size wired keyboard connected at the moment, this little baby here. But I am planning on disconnecting that. It's not a 5-minute job. It means I've got to pull all the gubbins out just to get to the cabling to disconnect it all. You think, oh, you just got to unplug it and that's it. No, not with my setup. It's all nicely tidy round the back, or as best I can anyway. So with that, I just thought I'd quickly explain, what's going on. So with that, let's do the unboxing, see exactly what you get for your money, and I'm going to give you a few specs. So this is the RedThunder K20, and it's a wireless keyboard and mouse combo. And I haven't used one for quite a few years actually. That was probably the first one for several years. It has 48,000 DPI, and I thought that should be perfect for what I need it for. Check the floor, mouse, anything else in the box. Oh, it's a different mouse. I didn't actually look to see if there was any differences. And yeah, it's definitely a different mouse. It's about the same size as the other mouse. Let me get them over there together. Yeah, they're about the same size. That one says RedThunder. Buttons look the same. It's got LED lighting on it, which I like. It comes with a USB Type-C connection for charging up, and standard USB connection on the other end, which should work on any USB, providing it gives power, of course, because you want to be able to charge up your keyboard and mouse. Turn that around. So this is it. Feels quite light actually. It looks a bit different to the other one. Obviously it's bigger, but yeah, it definitely looks like a full-size keyboard, which is what I want. You've got your little feet on the back if you want it tilted, and that's quite difficult for me to get out. There you go. Yeah, that's better. Nice bit of tilt. I would have preferred a bit more tilt, by the way. Yeah, but overall, so far, so good. And plus this has got some extra functions. Although you've got functionality down the side here, as well as along the top, you have some extra functions here that are separate, like the mute button, the plus and the minus for the volume control, which is quite nice. Standard scroll lock layout now. Well, this is actually a UK standard keyboard layout. It's not American layout, it's a UK one. So when you buy it in America, it should be the American layout. But I didn't actually check on that. And then you have your pause button for your videos, reverse, forward, and a music button. Not sure what that one does. We may find out. You have the brightness adjustment here, and basically that's how I would have thought that was the same as the FN key. I'm not sure. Now, does it have on the bottom how to control it? No, it doesn't. It says it's 2.4 gigahertz wireless, and obviously the battery capacity is 2000 milliamps. So hopefully it stays powered for quite a long time, because I found that this one is doing quite a few days before I need charging it up. I haven't figured out how long the battery lasts yet, because I do try and charge it up every now and again rather than wait say a week or two and find out, oh, the battery's gone dead. Working current is 100 milliamps and voltage is 3.7 volts, in case you wanted to know that. Doesn't really bother me as long as it stays fully charged for a long time. Also, you have some other links up here, home page, your emails, and let me know what that one is. I think it's a folder. It is a folder. So, first impressions. Nice feel to the keys. Yeah, nice feel. You have some LED lighting display there. Should I turn it on? Well, actually, let's find where the USB is. There it is. USB is on the bottom, okay? Now, this does need charging up, so I would recommend before you use it, you charge it up, which is what I'm going to do right now. And it's made in China. No surprise there, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her a full charge now before we carry on, because I want to make sure I give her all the best opportunity of working and show me how good she is. Yeah, I know I called it a she. So give me a second. It's been a few days since I charged this up, and it's also been a few days since the last time I spoke to you, because I wanted to make sure I gave it a good fair use, and yeah, very pleased with it. The only thing I didn't like is, I mentioned earlier, I would have preferred a bit more tilt, or at least the feet could be more adjustable. There's only two positions, there's either down or there's up. And it would have been nice if I could go a little bit higher, say for instance like that. It would have suited me better. Let me know in the comments whether you agree or not. I do like the fact it's a full size keyboard. It suits me better rather than a small one. I thought I'd be alright with a small one, but then I realised I'm used to using these number pads on the right hand side rather than the ones up the top. I prefer to do that. Unless I'm using some of the extra functions, you know, up there, like with the FN keys and things like that. I do prefer the number pad. And the mouse. Again, I was quite surprised how comfortable the mouse was. I thought it might be a bit small for me, but seemed to be about the right size. I would have preferred it a little bit bigger, but it's quite comfortable. I've had no issue with it whatsoever. Again, it has RGB, and most of the time I leave it turned off, and that's purely for the fact is I've got my hand over it. You can't see the RGB anyway, so why leave it on? Whereas on here or on the keyboard you can. You can actually see the RGB even when you're typing, and it looks quite pleasing. And it's not using so much power, because like I said, if you walk away from it and just leave it, it will put itself into sleep mode and save the battery, which is good. I don't know how long the battery will last for, because it's been a few days since I charged it up. I would imagine a couple of weeks, at a guess. I would imagine. That may be the only downside, is when the battery does go flat and you need to use it, well, you can't, because you've got to charge it up again, ain't you? But I've had no issues with it so far, and I'm quite pleased. I've also played some games on it, or I played some games on the computer and used the keyboard and mouse. Again, I've had no issues. Don't seem to be lagging out, which I was quite surprised about. I thought you might get a bit of lag, but no, just working fine. Right, some of the lighting features I want to quickly go through. So turn the lighting completely off or on, easy enough. Now if you want to change some of the patterns, you need to hold the FN key down. Number 2, number 3, number 4 and number 5. That is it. So you've got 1 to 5. Quite like this one myself. And also if you wish to turn the brightness down, again it's the FN key and it's a page up and down. So down and it goes right off. Up, and that's about as bright as it goes. So 1, 2, I quite like number 1 myself, like I said. Yeah. Oh, and also you can actually speed it up as well. Let me show you how to speed it up. FM button and a plus and a minus. See that? Slide it down. Quite like that. About there. Now if I hold the FM and press this button here, that is the mute button. or unmute, mute or unmute, does one or the other. And this one here brings up your player for your music, and mine is VLC. And yes, there's quite a bit of choice for functionality. Now if you want to save battery, obviously you just turn it off. But I'm not worried about saving the battery at the moment. There's a couple of choices for going different ways on how to get your functionality up, rather than going through the FN key for some of your functionality. You can just go to the shortcuts over here, like the play button or the music button. That brings up the same as if you held the FN down and pressed the F1. That does the same thing. And you got your plus and the minus up here for your music with the mute again, rather than using the FN button. They do exactly the same. So rather than pressing FN and them, you can just go over to here, to these shortcuts over here, and that does, like I said, exactly the same. There may be an occasion where I will need the smaller keyboard, but not for in here. Say for instance, I'm in my living room, I have another PC in there, and that smaller keyboard and mouse is ideal for in there, because we have a little table in there. You can put your keyboard on there and your mouse, and it doesn't take up so much space. But for when I do my video editing on here, or I do anything on here, I prefer a full size one. It just makes more sense. Also like all the little shortcuts as well that they've added, like the plus and the minus for volume, mute button, the home page. I haven't used that one. I have used that, although I don't actually download any of my emails. They're all read online, which I prefer. I think it's a bit old school, isn't it, nowadays, where you download your emails. Yeah, agree or don't agree? Let me know in the comments. So with that, definitely gets my thumbs up. If they bring out a better version where you got a bit more tilt, or even if the keys were tilted a bit more at an angle, I would probably go and exchange that from this to that one, probably. So with that, let me know in the comments what you think, whether you agree with me or don't agree with me. It'd be nice to know what you think, whether you prefer a full-size keyboard, a smaller keyboard, or a bit more tilt, or even prefer it flat. Let me know in the comments what you like. So with that, if you found this video informative, helpful in any way, or even entertaining, consider subscribing, clicking on the bell to get notified, and giving me the thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching.